congratulations to the staff of Airbus who have done a fantastic job developing this aeroplane. We are the brand ambassador for Airbus. We hope that Airbus will continue producing these fine aeroplanes.
video about the making of the beautiful Qatar Airways A350-1000. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, dear colleagues from the media, a very warm welcome here at our Airbus Event Center in Toulouse, southern France. Great that so many of you made it here today. We count over 100 media here in the room, coming from China East Coast to US West Coast, from the southern tip of Africa, and also many of you connected globally, following us on the key social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today is a moment of pride. Qatar Airways will receive our first A350-1000, their first A350-1000 in the next minutes. And to celebrate this delivery, please welcome with me Qatar Airways Group Chief Executive, Mr. Akbar Al-Baker. From Rolls-Royce, we have President Civil Aerospace, Chris Schollerton. And from Airbus, you know him very well, Fabrice Béger. Dear photographers, we have also a second opportunity at the end of the press conference. May I ask you to please get seated? We are live transmitted. And Fabrice, your strong focus, your dedication, and especially your leadership brought the A350 where it is today, with the A350-1000 first delivery truly being the icing on the cake. Fabrice, this said, it's a pleasure to pass the first words of introduction over to you. Fabrice, please.
Thank you, Stefan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here in Toulouse. My friend Akbar, it's a privilege for me to be here today. This is a delivery which is extremely important for Airbus, for our partnership with Qatar Airways, and also personally to me. This 350 development started, as you know, early 2007, and Qatar Airways was already there to be the launch customer with the biggest order in 2007, and then believed that the XWB would be a great aircraft. And you were the launch customer of the 900. We delivered the first one at the end of 2014. In the meantime, we made progress. We delivered 78 of these aircraft last year. So the ramp up industrially, despite a lot of difficulties during the first year, was managed professionally. And the result is that we start with a 350-900, which is already delivering a very good performance with very good reliability, above 99%, to our customers around the world. But of course, we wanted to go a step beyond, and this is this Dash 1000, which is a stretched aircraft with 40 to 50 more seats than the 900. And this is very encouraging to see that from day one, we deliver to Qatar Airways the specified performance, actually even better than initially specified. It's not because we became so good that we stretch beyond the targets. It's because it is a derivative of a 900 which had extra potential, and we managed to capture all these benefits into the Dash 1000. It will be the aircraft of choice for the replacement wave of 777-300ER. This is basically the same size. This is 25% more fuel efficient. The range is incredible. And this aircraft will be an ideal complement to the 900. Of course, the talent to make it so attractive for the customers comes from the airline. and it could not be a better start than having Qatar Airways as our launch customer again on the Dash 1000. You can imagine what your Q suites, business class seats, which are more comfortable than first actually, will bring into such a beautiful aircraft. And this is for me, of course, a great pleasure and a great honor in my last official day at Airbus to celebrate this delivery. I would like, before handing over to you, also thank Rolls-Royce for their very good job. Rolls-Royce has an impeccable performance on the 900 and on the Dash 1000. Let's say that there were a few months delay, but globally they delivered to us a 97K pound engine, which is a great engine, which delivers the expected performance, and which was a big challenge because it's largely a new engine compared to the 84K of the 900. So I would like to congratulate them because we need great engines on great aircraft. Thank you again for being with us, and I immediately hand over to His Excellency Akbar Al-Bakr.
Good afternoon, members of media, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, for those of you who have flown specially to be here, we appreciate your presence in Toulouse to mark this very special occasion, not only for Airbus, but also for Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways took the first delivery of the Airbus A350-900 in this very location in 2014 as the global launch customer, and after much anticipation, we are again very proud to be here yet for the second time to mark another industry first as the global launch customer for the Airbus A350-1000. For those of you who have joined us in December 2014 for the launch of the aircraft type, you will remember that it was Qatar Airways' order for 80 of these original 350 aeroplanes that actually led to the inception of this great program. Qatar Airways knew that there was demand in aviation industry for further growth and for a true next generation aircraft type. Travel continues to rise not only the popularity, but as a fundamental need and right, connecting people together from all corners of this world. In this regard, the 23 Airbus A350-900 aircraft that now fly within our fleet to do just this, connecting people to each other through our global network from destinations as far-reaching as Philadelphia through to Adelaide, on an aircraft that is truly visionary in every respect. Now, as we welcome this newest member of the A350 fleet with the global launch of the A350-1000, we are confident that its innovative design and technological superiority will keep Qatar Airways fleet ahead of the curve. Qatar Airways continues to lead the way when it comes to innovation, and I am particularly proud that this aircraft also features another first for the industry, our revolutionary first and business class experience, Q Suite. Q Suite is a product so revolutionary it has redefined passenger expectation of business travel and has become a natural evolution of our core service philosophy that you can create your own experience on Qatar Airways, featuring private individual cabins and the world's first business class double bed alongside unique interchangeable spaces. It is truly offering the very latest in comfort and design. Many of you have watched our growth, supported our rise from the very beginning, and we would like to thank you for your continued loyalty to Qatar Airways. You don't become the best in the world by standing still. And so, by working in partnership with companies like Airbus, we have kept moving ahead. pushing the boundaries for our passengers who are the very heart of our airline and our unique service offering. Thank you again for being here with us today on this very important milestone occasion. However, to conclude, I would like to thank my dear friend, Fabrice, for perseverance, accepting all this pressure that we put, and to thank him for this great leadership that he showed Airbus. Fabrice, my friend, the delivery of this 350-1000 on your last day in this company. I know it is very heartbreaking for me to lose not only a friend, but a great innovator and a leader. You should not forget something, that this is the crown of your career, delivering the first A350-1000 from Airbus to one of the world's best airlines. Thank you.
Thank you for your words, Your Excellency. And now it's my pleasure to hand over to Chris Chollerton, Rolls-Royce President, Civil Aerospace.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, Fabrice, on behalf of all my colleagues at Rolls-Royce, we're delighted to be here today to celebrate this important milestone with you. This event once again puts Qatar Airways at the very leading edge of aviation, and I would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency, and everyone at Qatar Airways on this occasion. And can I also congratulate Fabrice and all the Airbus team on this tremendous achievement. And I know that this aircraft will continue to the great A350 success. Of course, the engine you'll see today, the Trent XWB-97, is built on very solid foundations, being the very close relative of the hugely successful Trent XWB-84, which powers the A350-900. And that's an engine that's very close to my heart, because I was the program director for 3 years as we brought that engine to life up until the point when it first flew. And it's been very successful, with more than 1,700 engines ordered. It accounts for just under 40% of the total Rolls-Royce Group order book. So that's given us the opportunity to forge new relationships and deepen existing relationships with airlines around the world. And it's performed superbly. Since entering service with Qatar Airways in 2014, it's now completed some 1.3 million flying hours. And that's the equivalent of flying some 30,000 times around the world. And it's done that while setting a new record for the entry into service of a new wide-body engine in terms of reliability, where it's at a 99.9% dispatch reliability. And Qatar Airways actually accounts for about a quarter of all those flying hours. So it's demonstrated that reliability in some pretty arduous environments too. And as well as great reliability, the Trent XWB is also the world's most efficient large aero engine flying today. And to put that in context, over a same distance, you would use about the same fuel per passenger as that in a small family car. But of course, you're traveling well over 10 times quicker. So we're really proud of what this engine has delivered for our customers. And to support that success, we've invested heavily in technology and innovation, in manufacturing lines, and in new test facilities. And at the peak, we'll be delivering one Trent XWB every working day from our facilities in Derby and Berlin. But just turning to the engine of the latest version, the Trent XWB-97, which of course stands for 97,000 pounds of thrust. That's the highest thrust engine we've ever produced. It's actually another engine that's quite close to my heart, because while I was project director with Airbus, we contributed to shaping the thinking on the Dash 1000 and launched the 97,000 pound thrust variant of the engine. So it's particularly rewarding for me, after only a couple of weeks in this role, to return to celebrate the entry in service of that aircraft, and of course having missed all the hard work in between. But to achieve those requirements, we've had to take the same nacelle, the same engine architecture, and deliver an extra 13,000 pounds of thrust. And that thrust comes from the fan rotating more quickly and the compressors rotating more quickly, and the turbine needs to work harder to do that. But our engineers were up to that challenge, so we've managed to improve the fan system, getting more airflow through the same diameter. We've grown physically the core of the engine, and we've inserted new materials and coatings to protect the engine life. But more than anything, we wanted to maintain an engine that had commonality, and that's commonality for the technicians who maintain the engine, so we're keeping common line replaceable units, common tooling and such like, commonality for the pilot who flies the engine, and commonality for the airline which operates the engine. And we know just how important that is to our customers, and are very happy with the outcome. In all aspects, we have very high confidence in this engine. Through the very extensive test program, it's performed very well. We've had 10 development engines running for the last 3.5 years. They've accumulated now well over 11,000 simulated flight cycles, and we've tested it in extreme conditions in 5 different countries. And of course, we've flown it through the flight test program for some 1,600 hours. And of course, it's had somewhat of a head start on maturity, because whilst it's a different architecture to its predecessors, our Trent 1000 and Trent 900 engines, it's based on that Trent XWB-84. So we can build and draw upon that 1.3 million flying hours and the additional 17,000 hours of simulated flight cycles that engine has performed in bench testing. And the 2 variants of the engine will be produced on the same assembly lines. So we also have the trained, skilled people, the tools and processes that are already in place and proven. So we're very proud to be delivering this technology to Qatar Airways and Airbus today, and we look forward to delivering the same record-breaking levels of performance and reliability as we did on the Trent XWB-84. And I was very fortunate a couple of weeks ago to be at the Singapore Air Show, so I saw for myself just the excitement that the A350-1000 creates, and I'm confident that this aircraft is going to be a great success for Qatar Airways and for Airbus. Our vision in Rolls-Royce is that we are pioneering the power that matters. And this engine on this new aircraft powering Qatar Airways is a perfect example of that. I'd like to finish by thanking Your Excellency for the confidence you place in Rolls-Royce. It's a relationship we value highly and take great pride in, and I look forward to supporting you as you increase your A350 fleet. And I'd like to congratulate you both on the entry into service of this fantastic aircraft.
Thank you for this insight, Chris. Thank you, Fabrice. Thank you, His Excellency. And now it's time for your questions. Who has the first question? David Kaminski from Flight.
Good afternoon. It's a question for Chris, actually. I'm sure you were equally confident about the Trent 1000 before its current engineering issues. How confident are you that you won't end up with a similar or related issue on the XWB engine at some point in the future, particularly given that the entire A350 program is reliant on that engine?
We have very high confidence. As I said in my introduction, it has a different architecture than the Trent 1000. It's that magnitude of testing I described and the experience we have and the experience to date in the fleet of those 1.3 million flying hours has been exceptional. This is an engine which has set a new record for reliability for the entry into service of a large engine. So I have high confidence and I acknowledge the importance that you describe.
Who has the next question in the room? Sebastian Steinke from the German Flugrevue magazine.
Good day, Sebastian Steinke. Question to Mr. Al-Bakr, please. You have a very modern fleet and you pick from all manufacturers and all aircraft families. Could you kindly for us describe the character and the specific use of the A350-1000 for Qatar Airways? What's the specific feature and specific capability that's unique to this type of airplane? Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, that it has 40 plus more passengers than the Dash 900. It has a very low seat mile cost, additional fuel efficiencies compared to the 900 because of its larger number of modifications and improvements done over the Dash 900. It's a very stable airplane, and this exactly fits into the route network that we have that requires this number of passengers that we need to carry. Qatar Airways will be launching this aeroplane next Saturday to its first destination, which will be London Heathrow. And then beyond that, we are looking at flying this aeroplane to the eastern seaboard of United States, and of course to the longer range requirements in Australasia.
Next question goes to John Walton, Runway Girl Network.
Your Excellency, Mr. Bregier, obviously there have been delays to this aircraft as a result of cabin problems, particularly around the Q suite, produced of course by Rockwell Collins. What were those problems? How did you resolve them? And what impact will there be on the rest of the A350 deliveries?
Are you asking me or are you asking Fabrice? You're asking both of us. Well, I think you don't need to ask both. You can ask me, and I will be very direct and tell you that this issue of Q suite installation on the 350 is an issue that raised with Rockwell Collins and us. This is a very complex program. It is very difficult to install any new program in the new aeroplane, especially being the first one. So the requirement was extremely complex, and it was done in record time, though we took the delay as Qatar Airways. The aircraft was already delivered to us on time, as committed by Airbus to us. Unfortunately, the installation and calibration on a first aeroplane of a very complex seat program would always take time. However, I must tell you that we have achieved this 10 days ahead of schedule that was originally given to us. So Fabrice don't need to answer anything more.
Perfect.
I think you shouldn't give him a tough time on his last day.
Next question goes to Andrea Speth, a freelance from Germany.
Hello, Mr. Al-Bakr. Hello, Fabrice. I'd like to ask you a follow-up on my colleague's question. I had the pleasure of flying the QE suite from Doha to Paris 2 days ago. It was wonderful. But I was wondering if you fear that you might have the same problems you had in installing the Q suite on the A350-1000, if that also might happen on other aircraft you have to retrofit it into. And I also would like to know about your schedule of introducing and retrofitting the Q suite, for example, on the big 777 fleet you're flying.
First and foremost, let me to tell you that this question should not be asked from anybody else except Qatar Airways, because Q suite is a patented product. So other people should not get excited that they'll be able to install it. Secondly, we have no problem. The same issues that we would have had with, which we had with the A350 installing the first Q suite, was also the same problem we had when we installed the Q suite on the 777. We have received nearly 9 777s already installed with Q suite in the past. We have a program to retrofit all the other 777s in Qatar Airways fleet, and eventually we will also retrofit the 350-900 that was previously delivered to us without the Q suite will also receive Q suite, because Q suite will be the standard product on Qatar Airways business class. However, we will not be able to install the Q suite on the 787 program due to the fact that the aircraft is narrower and cannot adapt Q suite into it. We are upgrading the business product also on a 787 by installing seats that will also have total privacy like we have in the Q suite. The only drawback there will be that you will not have back front facing seats, so that you cannot create the private cabin environment that we can now create in the Airbus 350 program and in the 777.
How many are there today? How many Q suites are flying today?
We have already got 15 aircraft that is flying with Q suite, and the 350-1000 will be the 16th one. And all subsequent aeroplanes from Airbus, including the 350s, 900, and of course the 1000, will have Q suite installed in it.
Next question goes to Air Transport World, Kurt Hoffmann.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, Akbar, good to see you again. Congratulations to this beautiful aircraft. as you know, quite an experienced A350 customer now with the Dash 1000. Do you think also about the ULR, the ultra-long range aircraft? Would you need an aircraft like this for your fleet? And what's now the average age of your fleet, actually?
The average age of my fleet is just under 5 years. No, at the moment we are not interested in the LR. The Dash 1000 and the Dash 900 at the moment are doing exactly the routes that we purchased this aircraft for. We do not intend to go 20+ hour flights like one of our other friends want to do. So we will just stay with the Dash 900s and the Dash 1000. Yes, there may be in future requirement for more of these aeroplanes from Qatar Airways, especially when we do a further enhancement of our acquisitions. And of course, we will. There is a probability that we will buy more of these aeroplanes to put it in our leasing company.
Next question goes to Tim Robinson, Royal Aeronautical Society.
Hello there. A question for Mr. Al-Bakar, if I may. Can you say something about the blockade, the air and sea blockade, and how that's impacting your business, and whether you see a light at the end of the tunnel? First question. And the second question, Q-Suite, obviously a massive leap in luxury and something really special. How much more luxury can passengers take? Do you think that perhaps some might be interested in speed, for example? You know, would you be interested in supersonic airliners for your first class passengers?
We are very interested in supersonic flight. As you know, there is already a program by a private investment to do supersonic aircraft with around 50 to 55 seat capacity. Qatar Airways will be very interested to look at it, and we wouldn't hesitate to be the launch customer. The only reason we are not committing to this is because they have still not identified who will be the engine manufacturer for this airplane. Once they have identified and there is a proper commitment from the engine manufacturer to this program, Qatar Airways will be very interested in a small number of this airplane. Going back to the luxury and what next step we will be able to do relating to Q-Suite is a huge guess. I don't think what we can do to further improve what we have already done. I think this is ultimate in luxury in business class. Qatar Airways does not plan to have first class in our fleet except on the Airbus A380. So what we will only be able to do is to enhance the experience further, but within the envelope of the Q-Suite. Now coming to the favorite subject of the blockade. I don't want to get too political because this is really an occasion to celebrate. So I don't want to talk about anything that is depressing. But one thing I would like to say to this international press gathering here is the question, not what effect the blockade has done to Qatar Airways, but what was achieved by our adversaries in this blockade. Zero. They failed in intimidating my country, putting us against the wall, trying to take over our sovereignty, trying to dictate our foreign policy, trying to dictate who our friends should be. In every single aspect, they failed. They made Qatar more independent, more resilient, more robust, and made Qatar stand 6 inches higher than any of those adversaries, because we withheld our pride, our leadership, and most importantly, our confidence in our rulers' ability to lead our country better than anybody in our neighborhood. It was proven to the world that he is a leader of international standing, a person that would never get intimidated by anybody. In conclusion, I would like to say one thing, that today we are proving to those adversaries that Qatar Airways, which was in the forefront of this blockade's aims to block our flights, to ground our aeroplanes. As a matter of fact, every single day since this blockade, Qatar Airways is keeping on making announcements that is making our adversaries very intimidated. And not only that, our adversaries' airlines are, as a matter of fact, in declines. And this again proves that Qatar Airways will keep on marching ahead. There will be pressures, of course, in our operational cost. There will be pressures on our bottom line, which I have already not shied to speak about. But at the end of the day, we are a very robust airline, and we will continue our march ahead, and we will continue buying aeroplanes in the future.
Next question goes to Oliver Bonacieux from Air Finance Journal.
Olivier Bonacieux with Air Finance Journal. 2 questions for Fabrice. In terms of the order book, how many deliveries of the 1000 we expecting this year? And also, can you give us some more insight about campaigns for this year? The second question is about the leasing company buying the A350-1000. It's been a very popular aircraft with the 900 series, but there's only one lessor committed to the 1000. How do you explain this?
I don't have the precise number regarding the Dash 1000, but this will be a smooth ramp-up and will support the global ramp-up of the 350 family. You know that at the end of this year, we'll achieve 10 deliveries a month. What you have to understand is that so far, we didn't focus our marketing and our commercial priorities to the promotion of the Dash 1000. For a simple reason. When we started the development of 900, we accumulated very fast close to 800 orders. And a part of them, around 150, were Dash 1000. But the priority was to launch the 900, to ramp up the production, to secure the development of the Dash 1000. And it is good enough because we have the launch customers, starting with Qatar Airways. We have strong names backing the Dash 1000. And as I said in my introduction, the big wave of replacement of the 777-300ER, which we target with the Dash 1000, will start, because these aircraft are quite new, around 2022, 2023. So it's now time to be much more aggressive and to explain to our customers, or Boeing's customers, that this aircraft will be a better choice than the 777-9X, which is, for many of them, too big, and that the fuel burn per seat, the cost per seat, will be better with the Dash 1000. We have to demonstrate that, but I think that this will be not only possible, but what will be felt by the customer community. Regarding leasing companies, it's about the same. Leasing companies don't like too much to lease big aircraft because they are more difficult to relocate. And on top of that, you see the customers are big names. Qatar Airways has their own leasing company. They buy the aircraft. You have the big names who can fly the Dash 1000 or the 9X. Most of them also go, like Singapore Airlines, for direct sale. So the market is not impossible. I believe it will open up, but is not as large as the 900, and of course cannot be compared with the 330 market with more than 1,500 aircraft flying around the world.
Next question, please.
Theodore Stefan, IR News. I have a question for His Excellency. Can you tell us how many more 1000s will you be getting this year, apart from this one, and also give us some figures for next year?
We are going to receive around 6 Dash 1000s this year. It's according to our contract. And then it will keep on increasing because we have a large number of the Dash 1000s to be delivered over the next 5 years. So the ramp up will happen very steeply from 2019 onwards.
Next question in the room, please, front row.
Leonard Berber from the Italian newspaper. We met yesterday. So I have a couple of questions. The first question is not anymore a secret that you are working on an Indian airline. Have you decided what kind of aircraft will you put there? And the second question is about the 787s. You told before that you are not going to put the Q suite over there because the airplane is not big enough. So considering that you have on the fleet 30 787s, and you told yesterday that 30 787s will go to Air Italy, is there any connection?
Yes, and you heard what I said earlier, that we are going to have a new seat in the 787 that will have full privacy. So we are still committed to giving a very high-class product to our sister company, Air Italy.
So next question in the
room.
What
was your second question?
Sorry.
India. About India. I will not tell you what types of aeroplanes we will deploy in India, but as you may remember, we said that we will launch an airline in India which will have a fleet of at least 100 aircraft.
Is there a next question in the room? Please, over there, our colleague from Russia.
Alex Cheban, aviation journalist from Russia. I have two questions to Mr. Akbar Al-Bakir. First question related to...
Thank you for not calling me Excellency. I prefer calling me by my name.
Thank you so much. So first question related to last year, Qatar government introduced unprecedented visa release rules. You have introduced Qatar stopover program. What was the figure after like half a year in service of this?
You know that we have recently introduced stopover system in our visa regime in my country. And in the first 6 months, we already got more than 100,000 visitors that used that facility of stopover.
Thank you so much. And second question about being best airline in the world, meaning also obligations. You are setting the standards. Would you be able to unveil some future plans for this year, for next year maybe?
No, I just mentioned earlier that what we have done with Q Suite is really ultimate that you could do in luxury. I don't know what more we can do to raise the bar. But one thing I want to tell you, that I'm very proud not only to be the CEO of the world's best airline, not one time, but already 4 times. We were the people that raised the bar of air travel. Before us, there was no airline that had horizontal seats in their first class. We introduced in 2001. We were again the first airliner to introduce lie-flat seats. We pioneered that, and we improved that, and now it is a norm in most of the airlines in the world to have those products. We introduced lounges on board our airplane, which everybody then else copied. So we are always innovating new things, and now we have recently launched also, including in the Airbus A350-1000, the world's highest speed internet that you will be able to have in an aeroplane. And this is already launched and rolled out, and by the end of next year, every single Qatar Airways aircraft will give you the highest speed internet that you can have and stay connected whilst you fly on Qatar Airways. So make sure that you always only fly Qatar Airways and not any other airline.
With A350s.
John Walton has the next question.
Mr. Al-Bakir, a slight follow-up on your 787s for Air Italy question. Are you saying that the in-flight product in business class on those aircraft will be the same as on Qatar Airways 787s?
Yes, of course. We will not give anything inferior to our other investments. Meridiana is, Air Italy is an investment of Qatar Airways. We own 49% stake in that airline. So it is not somebody that is taken, like some of the airlines, I don't want to mention, take 2 and 3% stake in other airlines. We take large stakes in airlines, and we want to make sure that those airlines get a product that is similar to the standards that we have on Qatar Airways. We will not give them anything less than, we would not want anything less for them than what we have on our own airplanes. Well, British Airways is launched a lot of new products recently, and they will keep on doing this. British Airways, don't forget, is still the world's favorite airline. This is their motto. And British Airways is also having one of the best performances of any airline in the world. So I don't think that their product will be anything less than what we offer to our people, to our passengers.
Next question, please.
Thierry Dubois, Aviation Week. 2 questions for Fabrice Bregier. What's your latest market analysis for a further stretch of the A350? And second question, if you had only one recommendation to make to your successor, Guillaume Faury, what would be your recommendation, your main recommendation?
Well, we studied, as you know, a further stretch. So in principle, it works. But we decided to focus our work on delivering a good Dash 1000 and improving what is still a baby aircraft. So this aircraft has extra potential. You can always look at the 330, increase the max takeoff range, reduce the fuel burn with engine improvements, with weight reductions, squeeze down a little bit more seats. And you will see, I believe, that without changing this aircraft, we will be able to accommodate even more seats and getting closer to what the 777-9X can carry. I'm sure this is a way forward. And then, probably, when there is a new generation of engines, it will be time to rethink all that, and depending on the trend on the market, yes, a further stretch is quite straightforward, technically. To my successor, I think he's a very seasoned professional, and so I think in a French newspaper this morning, I answered this question just saying to trust my people. Because I am extremely proud of the teams we have built, of what we have achieved together. And for us, it's easy today to celebrate the delivery of a Dash 1000. Chris mentioned what he had to do to deliver the 2 fantastic engines. I can tell you at aircraft level, with what is at stake, when you start not from scratch, but from a very limited amount of technical studies early 2007, I'm very proud of what my teams have done together with my main partners. And this is probably a sign that Airbus has now the inside ability to go even higher.
Next question goes to Kurt Hoffmann from Air Transport World.
Another question to Akbar Al-Bakr, please. A320neo, I remember you had on order, or you planned to have this aircraft. What's the latest on this? And how big is your aircraft leasing company? And do you give aircrafts to, I don't know, LATAM or one of your subsidiaries?
First and foremost, I thought that every journalist should only ask one question. So you're asking many questions. As far as the leasing company is concerned, yes, we will grow our leasing company because this is a revenue stream. It's a profit center for the airline. And we are leasing aeroplanes to Meridiana. We will be leasing to other airlines also. And this is where I said that there could be a potential for us to order more airplanes. As far as the A320neos are concerned, we have signed an amendment to our previous contract with Airbus for 50 321s. We have selected the engine already for it, and the first deliveries of our 321neos will happen in the second half of next year. Happy with my answers?
Next question goes to Alex Cornwell from Reuters Middle East.
Hi, on your right. Fabrice, would you have a breakdown of how many A350 deliveries you're expecting this year of the 900 and the Dash 1000s? And Akbar, how many Dash 900s are you expecting this year?
Where are you?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I think the vast majority of 2018 deliveries will still be 900, so we'll not tell you wrong numbers, but if I say around 15% of Dash 1000, Didier, I'm probably not too far away from reality. In total, I'm not sure we communicated on the number. but we will continue the ramp up. So we will achieve 10 deliveries a month at the end of the year, so you can have a good idea of how many aircraft will be delivered.
And we have 38 350-900 and 42 350-1000. There is a possibility that we could convert some of the -900s to 1000. We already noticed with the short time that our people have been on the 350-1000 that there are so many improvements in this that could maybe make us attracted to order some more, convert some more of the -9 to the -1000. I know that we have a very small window to do it. I can see that my friend Didier is already sweating over there with the expectation that I could put some pressure on him to do that for me. So let's see.
Next question, please, here, row 2.
Jinjin from Taiwan. Question for Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways still have some options for A380. 3 years ago, you told us you will compare with the reliability, performance with 380 and 350. Can you share more information about?
You know, you are comparing chalk and cheese. There is no comparison between the two programs. So let us not go that way. As far as the 380 is concerned, for the time being, we do not have the intention to firm up the 3 we still have to firm up. We'll wait and see. I believe that the program is now going to run until the end of the decade. So let's see if there are changes and if the requirements of the airline changes also during this period. So for the time being, we are satisfied with the 10th A380 that we will receive next in April. And with that, we will finish the A380 program. The A380 is a very reliable aircraft. It is a very stable product, and my passengers are very happy with that aeroplane.
Next question goes to flight David Kaminski.
Mr. Al-Bakr, you were kind of on and off with the Bombardier C-Series when it was being offered by Bombardier. I just wondered whether you'd be prepared to revisit the C-Series once it's offered under Airbus.
I don't think we have any interest in the C-Series for the time being, but nobody knows the future. We could get into an investment in an entity that is required or tailor-made for the C-Series aeroplane. The reason we walked away from C-Series is not because we had no confidence in the product. We walked away from C-Series because we didn't know when that product will come to maturity or when Bombardier will be able to deliver those kind of airplane to us. You know, as an airline CEO, I cannot depend on aircraft manufacturers to deliver airplanes to me. They have to deliver airplanes according to my timetable and not vice versa. And this was not happening, and this is why we decided that we will now not proceed any further in negotiations for that program.
And the final question goes to Tim Robinson. We have another final question, so Tim Robinson.
Okay, David just nicked my question on C-Series, but question then to Fabrice then on your last official day. What do you think has been your biggest achievement at Airbus?
Delivering the A350-1000 to me.
I was about to give this answer. Well, it's probably the A350 program overall. I can tell you it was extremely challenging launching such a program when at the same time we're facing industrial challenges on the A380 and the A300M. We were heavily restructuring Airbus with Power8, and I had also launched the integration of Airbus. The Airbus operations. So having managed together with Didier Evra and all the teams involved to deliver not a perfect program on 900, but the wide-body program which was managed much better than any other big development so far, was as such a good achievement. The second one is, despite the difficulties, ramping up industrially a big machine like that, not smoothly, but at the end of each year, achieving the target was also extremely good. And of course, the icing on the cake is clearly this Dash 1000, which will be the best of the wide bodies. I have no doubt about that. And beyond that, it's an experience to be at the helm of Airbus for 11 years. I could have stayed a bit longer, but all in all, I think I am one of the top managers who have spent the longest period of time running Airbus, so I cannot complain. And looking at the transformation of Airbus, looking at the growth of the backlog, not only looking but acting with the success of the 320neo, the launch of the 330neo, all that is, I would say, only good memories. And I'm very grateful for everybody who supported me during these years.
Ben, sorry, I get signals that we cannot take your question anymore. We have live interviews lined up. This concludes our live transmission of this press conference. Thank you, His Excellency Fabrice, Chris, for being with us here today. And before we break up, we have for next photo opportunity, let me quickly run.